Christopher Bentavania, and I'm the Assistant National Director of Resident Services at the NHP Foundation. The NHP Foundation provides affordable housing and resident services in communities throughout the United States. Here in New Orleans, we have a grant from the Freddie Mac Foundation. We use the grant to provide free after-school programs to children ages 3 through 18, which focus on academic enrichment, culture, arts, and health and wellness. When the opportunity presented itself for us to participate in NASA's Imagine Mars project, I was really excited because I thought that is the ultimate virtual vacation, going to Mars.
About a year ago, we came out and did a training with the Tanglewood Community Center and the staff from the NHP Foundation. And initially I was really blown away when I first walked in the community center because I was struck by how much color there was on the wall and all of the different types of projects that seemed interactive and fun, but also multicultural.
In a typical virtual vacation, the students will pick either a country or a city or a state that they're interested in learning more about. And over the course of several weeks, we'll study that place through an arts-based curriculum that also incorporates science, math, language arts, and geography.
When you bring in so many different cultures and the history and culture and the language into a project that actually is expressed through the arts, I think is really cool.
Imagine Mars is all about thinking about our human future and really applying it back to Earth. So when we look at Mars, it's understanding for the kids what a planet is, what makes a habitat, what makes life possible on a place, and by going to another world that is completely exotic and extreme.
The farthest I have been from home is Texas. The farthest I ever been far from home is Alabama.
It's important to learn about different places because if you didn't, how would you know what else was out there?
It kind of gives the kids a little bit of jazz in the process, and they learn about Mars, they learn about Earth, and then they bring that back to really understanding what makes a community here that includes science and technology and the arts.
What better way to emphasize community than to create an entire Mars environment out of an empty apartment in the apartment complex where the kids live?
I think the value of creating Mars in an empty apartment is that it's so hands-on. Not only are they creating the landscape of Mars as scientists have found it to exist today, but because we have the space, they're creating the landscape, and then they're able to create their community.
The students did a variety of landscape projects, and the biggest one was a giant papier-mâché sculpture of the Olympus Mons volcano, which is the biggest volcano on Mars. The students painted a graffiti-style mural on the fence outside of the Mars apartment. The mural represented different flowers and organic food that they would want to grow on Mars. The students looked at fashions from around the world and then made their own designs based on Mars science, so lots of very warm clothes using wool. And then they had a low-gravity fashion show where they jumped on trampolines at the end in order to simulate the low gravity of Mars. The students studied architecture from around the world, and like architects, they sketched out their designs and then used recycled material like cardboard to create models of buildings that they would want to have on Mars.
And there's a room right there.
One of my favorite projects was one that dealt with pop culture and music. The Marsapalooza project came from an activity with the younger children in which they explored the democratic process. The children got together and voted which celebrities they wanted to take with them to Mars. The winners were Lil Wayne, Jennifer Hudson, and Soulja Boy. The team's contribution to this project was creating an outer space concert area inside the Mars apartment. First, they painted the kitchen black to simulate outer space. And then they created figures that represented each pop star they voted in.
The students I'm working with, because they're so young, very well could be the first people to walk on the surface of Mars. We work on projects where they determine what they want to take with them and what they want to leave behind. And so it really encourages them to think about the things that they appreciate and the ways that they engage with each other.
I would want to take food and water, a lot of food and water here. It'd be cold, and I'm very glad that I'm not homeless. And Mars has stuff that all kids could go to.
It allows the students to be immersed in their science project. It's very hands-on. They can actually walk through their creation, and it's on a scale that is not able to be taught in the school system. I think it's a really great confidence builder. I think that a project this large and that's lasted this long, I think for the students, when they see the final project and the end of it, I think they'll be proud of themselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mars-a-Palooza! Put your hands together for Little Wayne!
This community has done such an amazing job of imagining Mars. There were so many projects. I was so amazed to see how many different ways you looked at Mars, from having the kids study Latin and create calendars, to the construction of the Martian surface, to photographs of landscapes here at a micro level, but blown up actually look like the Martian surface. And really getting that tangible feeling of what it's like for the kids to participate and the growth that I've heard that they've experienced and how excited they are to show what they've learned and created. It's amazing.
Oh, TV! You made it. Yeah, we made that. Remember that, Joshua? We made that movie? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Where is Aaliyah?
Look at mine, right there.
Aaliyah and Peyton.
Oh, yeah, mine right there. Look at mine.
It's hard for me to say that this is one Imagine Mars project in a way, because sort of this sort of meta project with multiple projects integrated into it, and I love the way that the community center has integrated the multicultural aspect, but also learning about languages, Latin, architecture, learning about fashion, and learning about of course, learning about sort of the science of Mars. I would say that the Tanglewood Community Center has done an excellent job, and we're really amazingly proud of all of this work. It's just spectacular.
Prior to starting this project, we created a curriculum keeping certain outcomes in mind. The specific areas that we chose to focus on were community development, fine arts, and of course science. At the end of 6 months, it's so exciting to see that we've not only achieved our outcomes, but exceeded them in such a creative and unique way.
I look just like him.
Check. Oh my goodness. Mr. Dave.
Yeah.
Is this over yet?